Every year, we all do something we hate. You did it. You did it. You did it. All of you did it. Anybody have any ideas as to what that would be?
Pay taxes.
Amen. Every year, April 15th comes around, and all of us file income taxes. These taxes are very, very restrictive. They take the money that you earn, you end up sending off all your receipts from the past year to try to get some of that money back. And it's just incredibly awkward. These, whether every year you gather your receipts, you pull all your paperwork together. Now, some of us will use TurboTax, just file our returns by ourselves. Others will go out and hire someone to do it. Every year, though, you have to pay that fee or pay for a new version of TurboTax because the taxes change every year. It's time for a change. This system has been in place too long, and it no longer makes sense to do this. Today I want to talk about some of the current system's failings, and also tell about a system that will fix this problem altogether. Albert Einstein once said that the hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax system. When he said that, the income tax was 500 pages. Anyone venture a guess as to how long it is now?
1,200.
67,506 pages.
Dressing that's on here?
Lobbyists and legislators have packed the tax code with loopholes that not only make it confusing, but also very unfair. These loopholes are there to help out certain people get tax breaks so they don't have to pay all the taxes that they should be paid. Every year, they add new loopholes into this system. It's not only unfair and very confusing, it's also very expensive. Every year, Americans spend $265 billion filing tax returns, keeping tax records, and getting advice on how to get out of paying so much taxes. It's unfair for savers because people who want to save their money have their taxes taken out before they get their money. They can't save it without already losing some of that money. It also has the IRS in place. It's people who are scared to death of the IRS because they can come and throw you in jail if you aren't compliant with the tax code, which is 67,000 pages long. It's hard to follow. How can you be guaranteed that you are compliant with the tax code? It's time for a change, everyone. We shouldn't have the people who are spending our tax money deciding how much we get taxed, how the taxes are changed. It should be given to us, the people. So today I want to introduce to you the fair tax. I don't know if any of you have heard about it, but it's, as the name would say, it is fair for all Americans. It's also very easy to understand. Everybody gets to keep everything they make, 100% of what you earn. Does that sound like a good idea to y'all?
Great.
So, you would say, but how does the government do anything? If they don't get any of the money from us off of our income, how can they, pay for defense and pay for all of the Social Security that we've promised people? How do those get solved? Well, it involves increasing the sales tax to 23%. I know that sounds very expensive, but the idea is you don't pay your income taxes and you pay a 23% sales tax. You don't get taxed on what you bring in, you tax on what you spend. So this new tax will replace the individual income tax, payroll income tax, the estate tax, the gift tax, capital gains tax, alternative minimum tax, the self-employment tax, and corporate income tax. That's a lot of taxes that it replaces. If you invest, no longer is the money that you bring in from those investments taxed before you get a hold of it. When you work, you're no longer taxed before you get your money. This new system would put about $358 billion into the government spending. So this would provide no more loopholes for people to get out of paying their taxes. You'd have no more time that you had to waste getting all those receipts together to file your tax return. And you wouldn't have to fear the IRS anymore because the IRS would be abolished in this plan. Some of you would say, okay, well, what about poor people? You know, they don't have a great income as it is, and you add this new tax on there, they're not going to be able to afford to eat and buy their drugs and pay for gas. Well, this new system has an answer for that. It's called a prebate. You get the 23% tax paid to you up front on what it costs to live at the poverty level. So, for a family of 4, you would get $537 at the beginning of the month, and that would cover all of the taxes on your expenses that would be up to the poverty level. Everybody gets this. It's not just the poor people, it's everybody. So, for instance, if you spent twice what the poverty level is for a certain tax frame, you would end up paying 11.5% taxes effectively. The first part on the poverty, 23% is paid. Second half you have to pay it. So it's 11.5% tax rate. As the more you spend, the more taxes you pay. So if this sounds like a good plan to you, if you're tired of the system that we have currently, I would encourage you to contact your congressman. Let them know that you're not pleased with the way the system is now, and you'd like a change. If you like the fair tax plan, encourage them to vote for that and say that that's what you want. I would also encourage you to get more information about the fair tax. You can get that at fairtax.org. It's time for us to replace this system and have fairness for all. Thank you.